then James Franco just kind of
just in the background, like, I'm sad, my dad died.
yeah. All right.
Yeah.
I don't even need to defend in that case.
Hi everyone, just a little note before the episode. If you're watching this on YouTube, yeah, it's gonna be a bit weird. Basically, I did an update on my computer just before we recorded, so Discord started being funny, so every now and then you'll see it being full screen when you're watching the video, then it'll go to small, blah 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 blah, and I'll try to fix it while recording, so yeah, just a little heads up with that. And on to the episode. Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Trip and Multiverse with your host, the man who, after 10 years of being with my adopted family, I decided, hey, I want to know who my real parents are. Kyle Charles. Oy.
And the man who should have known Osborn didn't have the spine to finish you, CY Chung.
And today, we got a very interesting episode. As some of you may know, I only figured this out the other day. I was like, oh, that's true. 20 years ago and 10 years ago, two sequels for two films and
Spider-Man movies came out, yeah.
Yeah, and so in franchises, which is the same franchise but directed by different people, make their anniversaries this year. And I thought, hey, it would be cool to discuss what happened. Discuss the two sequels.
The way you pitched it to me was like, which film is better? Now, I was looking at it from the sense of, okay, let's just take them in their vacuums by themselves. So no reference to the previous film to make this film better, or strings that didn't get concluded until the next film, because Amazing Spider-Man 2 didn't even get a third film, right?
Yeah.
Not that I'm using it against it, I'm just saying, right?
Yeah.
And I thought, okay, what is typically known by the audience as the best Spider-Man film, Spider-Man 2, right?
For some people,
was going to be the one that you were defending, and then I was going to be lumped with Amazing Spider-Man 2, which is generally known supposed to be the worst critically.
Yeah.
But and to be fair, I could be unbiased, and there are some good things about Amazing Spider-Man 2. So I thought, okay, right, this is going to be a good one because I'm going to have to cut down a film I like to prop up a film I don't. However, you volunteered to take Amazing Spider-Man 2, which I'm like, okay.
Yeah, because
fair enough.
I highly enjoy Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Well, okay, so is it a bad film? Is it an enjoyable film? Okay, I could say it's entertaining and stuff like that as well. So it depends on how you want to grade it.
Yeah,
I like slasher films and stuff like that, and they're terrible generally. So, but this is meant to be a blockbuster film. I think the main I was actually going to start already, right? But yeah, I believe, factually speaking, Spider-Man 2 made the least money box office in the original franchise, and Amazing Spider-Man 2 has made the least money overall from the Spider-Man Sonyverse.
Really?
Yeah. For some reason, now, the first film made a lot of money. Spider-Man 1 made a lot of money because Spider-Man film, yeah?
Yeah.
And Spider-Man 2, for some reason, even though they had the hype behind it, it didn't. But Spider-Man 3 made a lot of money, which is strange because it's not a good film. If you said Spider-Man 3 against Amazing Spider-Man 2, then there'd be some wackiness going on.
Yeah.
I don't know I can't remember if Amazing Spider-Man made more than Spider-Man 2, but I believe Amazing Spider-Man 2 made the least. And I wouldn't say it did so badly, by the way, because 7 million is still something. But they decided to reboot after. No, they decided to collude with the MCU after that. So
yeah, but that was like because of those weird Sony leak emails and stuff like that. Which I will
say though, Andrew Garfield being only 2 years younger than Chris Evans playing a soldier, an actual full-grown adult, and Andrew Garfield playing a teenager still, a college kid, is a bit...
a bit weird.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, during these films, Andrew Garfield did look younger than he was, but did he look... He was meant to be 19 during this?
I don't know, because I got kind of confused about this as well. I think he might be 18.
Well, they graduated
Yeah, 'cause
at the beginning of the film.
Might be 18. I'm not too sure.
Well, yeah. Well, to be fair, in Spider-Man 1, Tobey Maguire did a lot through his entire first film because he graduated college and he graduated high school and went to college and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So when I was in this one film, there's a lot going on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So give me some props that you have for Amazing Spider-Man 2,
Right.
and I'll interject.
Yeah.
If I need to feel like I need to immediately, or I will agree with you to back you up on certain things that are better than Spider-Man 2.
All right. So So I would say, film-wise, like how it's filmed, Amazing Spider-Man 2. Like,
you mean on a technical level?
Yeah, on technical level. I don't know. I feel like the scenes feel more thought out, if that makes sense. Like, there's some cool angles. You feel like you're actually in New York because, like, in Spider-Man 2, you don't. Anytime you really feel you're in New York, you see like the overground train, and that's kind of like it. Like,
I will say this. If you mean like the swinging and stuff like that, and it actually feels like an entire city.
Yeah, that too. But
yeah, because I think. Well, to be fair, technology had advanced at that point.
Yeah, big time.
Where you could.
Yeah.
You know, to knock my film, the CG does look a bit ropey in certain places. Very, very like rubber, right?
Yeah.
Especially like when after Peter does his Super Saiyan, when Dr. Octopus knocks him down, he Super Saiyans up from the ground like that, right? And then Dr. Octopus takes Mary Jane away. Yeah. They look really, really terrible there, right?
Yeah.
And some of the train fights and stuff like that. And I will say in Amazing Spider-Man 2, like when you got the CGI scenes where you got rippling in the Spider-Man suit and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Even better than some of the MCU ones, by the way, as well, right?
Yeah.
But that argument can be made because 10 years in advancement of technology, of course it's going to look better.
Of course it's going to look better. Yeah.
I actually think didn't Amazing Spider-Man have some practical as well, rigging and stuff like that?
Yeah. There's a lot of it you can sort of tell. Yeah, so that's how I feel, if I'm honest. Like, I just feel like not to knock the film from 2004. Like, it was good for its time, so I'm not gonna knock it. But I don't know, like you saying, in Amazing Spider-Man 2, it looks less CGI-y.
All right, well, yeah. Well, the train sequence still looks impressive. I will say that.
Yeah,
well, I mean the bit with the train where he's stopping it, not the bit where Dr. Octopus throwing people from the train and they look like they're from GTA Online or something like that, right? The actual train bits and stuff like. See, but you see, I don't think I was. What's good is when they have the practical tentacles as well.
Yeah.
They looked good. The mixture of practical and CG to the point where you only knew the CG when it was Alfred Molina as a CG as well.
Yeah. But
yeah.
So that's one thing I'll say in my personal opinion. But again, that's sort of a time thing. It is what it is.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, it's a positive. However, if Spider-Man 2 was made at that time instead,
things would be a lot better. Yeah. And I also feel like the music in Spider-Man 2 was a lot better as well. Because, like, Spider-Man 1 for me, it kind of pandered too much, like, 60-ish sort of, like, not aesthetic, but, like, music and things like that all be like...
All right. Now, I'm going to poke fun at you for this, and this is not an actual criticism, because I do like the Hans Zimmer theme of Amazing Spider-Man 2. But, right?
Yeah.
If I'm going to do this, if the theme for Amazing Spider-Man 2 was so good, why did they use the theme for Amazing Spider-Man 1 in Spider-Man No Way Home?
Right, the theme, the theme, whatever. The theme's fine, the theme. But, like, I don't know.
I'm just joking there. But
you got a point there. You got a point there.
No. But to be fair as well, the Amazing Spider-Man theme suited that moment with Spider-Man, with Andrew Garfield and Electro better than the heroic theme of the Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
You just won't match the moment there.
No. It'll be weird.
So it is a bit weird not to use something from the picture that the characters were actually in.
Yeah, yeah. Like, makes sense.
Well, okay. So we say that we agree that Doc Ock looks CG sometimes, right? Well, he does look. It looks like occasionally through the movie, it's a CGI effect.
Yeah.
But then when you got Blue Electro.
Yeah,
what can you say to that? You know,
Nothing.
he's actually, you know what? Just to keep it by itself, right? In a vacuum. But if I were to use Spider-Man No Way Home again, I'd be like, well, they ditched that because they realized how bad that looked.
Yeah, like it's sort of a thing that I've noticed, like with comic book films and stuff, and it's sort of kind of like now kind of going away from it, where they try to go for an original take of like these new characters, but they don't want it to be too comic-y, so they go away from it, i.e. like with Electro, where instead of having that weird lightning face thing helmet, he's blue and in a suit that has like lightning bolt emblems on there to tell you that he's Electro.
Yeah.
So I'll give that.
I will say knocking Electro as a so blue lightning, fine, whatever, right?
Yeah.
Even though you could say yellow, but then working around as a yellow being could be a bit very strange.
Yeah.
But he didn't even have a costume, right? He was walking around in a black hoodie most of the time.
Yeah. Then his weird leather suit at the end. Yeah.
Which is like, okay, if I looked at a dude with an octopus, like multiple arms here and there, okay, maybe not Dr. Octopus, but definitely tentacles and stuff. I can get the image, yeah.
Yeah.
If I give you this Electro to look at, Blue Man with electric powers.
Yeah.
Would there's what identifies him as Electro?
Nothing. Just that his name's like Max Dillon.
I don't even mind, by the way, that he's a white guy and he's black.
That makes no like.
That's not the thing. It's just but it's like nothing similar to the costume he should have.
Yeah. Which
doesn't really matter. But it's not even the color scheme. Like Dr. Octopus don't even have a costume, but
no. But
but you can put it together as to what's what.
Like question, because I can't actually remember this right properly. So Max Dillon, right? In the comics, before he became Electro, what was he? Was he like this sounds something dumb, like an electrician or like something, or?
I think he was a bank robber.
Okay, cool. Because like this.
One time, by the way.
Yeah.
One time in the comics, what he used was his electric to magnetize himself to a street lamp to climb up it. Okay, Yeah, 60s, you know what I mean?
Okay, was this before he could fly and stuff, I'm guessing? Or just...
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay.
Because why waste the effort,
Yeah. That's a bit weird. Super weird.
Yeah.
But
and then not only did this, okay, so Spider-Man 2 just concentrated on one. Okay, yes, it had Harry on the side to continue his background story. It knew to be like, okay, well, we're introducing one guy, Dr. Octopus, got to have the sympathetic backstory, got to continue Harry's heel turn as well. Yeah. So we're not going to get these things in the way of each other.
Yeah.
However, Amazing Spider-Man's like Rhino, the guy who Paul Giamatti, not the Rhino yet at that point, right?
No, yeah.
We'll have him in the beginning, and we'll have him in, which I don't mind. It's like it makes sense to keep him out the meat of the movie, right?
Yeah.
And it just seemed like a cameo at the beginning and the end.
Yeah.
But then they plaster him in the posters as though he's actually in there
in the film. Yeah, you're like, oh no, he's like two scenes. You know what I mean?
And then and then when he has his own fight, he looks like really cramped CG in the suit there.
Yeah, like,
and he's not even at the end fight because he's shooting rockets, and then the scene cuts.
Like,
okay,
that's one thing I'll say. Like besides that, Amazing Spider-Man again, like we said, like graphic, like CGI and stuff's amazing until that point when he does the Rhino bit and the bit opens up and he's there like
if he wasn't using joysticks, if he was like had his arms as a
I think that's what his hands were.
No, he had joysticks at the front of it.
Are you sure? Because
I'm pretty sure.
When I was watching yesterday,
because I thought it looked a bit weird. It's like, why? How can you do the movements he's doing with the Rhino suit with the joysticks and a button and stuff like that? And how's he sitting in there? How's he doing the you know how the cats run and stuff like that, how the rabbit run, right? When he punches the ground, while his head is like like on a motorcycle. Then how do you look up? A bit weird.
Yeah. It wasn't really thought of.
Yeah. The logistics of it look better than the execution of it.
Yeah.
Not the other way around. But yeah, I also did not like that they shoehorned Harry in there.
Yeah.
Okay, so it seems to me they saw Dane DeHaan in Chronicle and they're like, oh yeah, this guy within a film can be start sympathetic and then go full on, right? So we'll get him and he can do the part, which I think he did good in Chronicle, right?
Yeah.
I don't think he had the time frame to do this in this film. Yeah, and he didn't have the material to do it as well either with.
It was like, I don't know if I find him as a good actor, if I'm honest, like, because he kind of kept on taking me out of it. I'm like, oh, this guy.
Right. But is it because, like, okay, people slate Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor, and I'm like, look, the guy, given that material, maybe your opinions of him will change. Yeah. So it might have been one of those things where, if he was in a better film, our opinions of him might, because I think Jesse Eisenberg might have been able to do stuff.
Yeah.
Dane DeHaan, you're basically saying,
not great.
Not great, and the material was against. So he kind of, even if the material was better, he wouldn't have been able to.
It's kind of bad because you've seen that film that he's in. With
which film?
Where he's like some sort of bounty hunter. What was it called? It's got that. It's gonna annoy me. Valeria, whatever it is.
Yeah, something like that.
That film. Yeah, and now I'm like, this guy. You.
I haven't seen it.
Don't. Come on, don't.
Okay. You're saying that you think this guy's better as a supporting actor than a main actor.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or just not. And that's really bad. No. I don't know. I don't see him in anything else since. So.
To be fair, some actors are always better supporting actors than actual leads.
Yeah.
Jeremy Renner, for one, I think he's always either he's co-lead or he's supporting. Because when he's the actual lead, I don't think he can carry the film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he carried. I say carried. He was. Would you count Hawkeye as a film? Because he was alright.
It's true. Yeah. It's true.
I don't know.
I thought you were going to say Born Legacy.
I even watched that. It was really, but I've never got around to watching it. Yeah.
I wouldn't.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. Okay. So you're okay. Even as much as so actually, Dane DeHaan got more to do than Harry Osborn in this film. In Amazing Spider-Man, right? Yeah. But you're saying even though he got more to do, none of it was better than James Franco just kind of
just in the background like, I'm sad my dad died.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
I don't even need to defend in that case. Even though he did the full transition as well, Dane DeHaan, he actually turned into the Green Goblin. Yeah. Even though I think that's so shoehorned in at the end.
Yeah, that dude. When I was watching it yesterday, because I had to watch it in two parts because I decided to watch it way too late, so I had to watch it in two parts. Yeah. So that bit could have easily just been thrown in the next film.
Yeah.
But it just seemed like, hey, I need to inject myself, and then, it's not helping me. It's actually killing me. Wait, there's a tech suit over there that might save me, and then just goes out of these Green Goblins. Like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Okay.
I will say they did set it up. However, they were like, let's rush to the end because we got to get there. You know?
Like it could have been.
How long was the film? 2 hours plus?
2 hours. I want to say 2 hours 10.
Would you say it could have been better being longer?
I don't know. Maybe could have been shorter. Just like.
Well, but then they would have had to cut.
Yeah.
Okay, if they saved.
Because remember they cut out MJ from this whole thing. Because remember they actually filmed bits with Mary Jane and they cut that out. So
yeah. So but would you have said Harry Osborn been in it and not turning Green Goblin would have made the movie better?
I don't know.
Because then you could have done that in the sequel. And it would have given more room for us to get to know Harry before he starts making his
even if they just put Harry Osborn in the main Spider-Man 1 a tiny bit, so you kind of get to know him then it might have been, because you could have done the whole Osborn sort of dying thing in that, like just C plot sort of like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then maybe even throw away a line of like Peter going, oh, maybe I should call my friend Harry as his dad dying. You know what I mean? And it's sort of there, not just sort of out of nowhere and then, oh, Osborn's in this. Oh no, he's dead, and then Harry's there. I'm like, oh, okay.
I see. Here's the thing as well. I don't think Electro was a strong enough character to carry the backbone of the film being a villain.
Yeah.
Especially since in the comics he doesn't really have much of a character personally, right?
No.
But secondly, in this film, he's a Spider-Man obsessive. So what's this stalker-ness? What's that about? What were they going with that?
Yeah. Well, I don't think they know that was going with that, if I'm honest.
Yeah. I think they were like, oh yeah, let's give him something, right?
Yeah.
Other than just being a dude.
Yeah.
And but you kind of given him the wrong thing.
Yeah. Which doesn't, like, they could have done more. Again, I do like this film, and I should be actually defending it. But like,
yeah, you should be.
But they could have did a bit more with Max Dillon before he turned to Electro. So you can kind of okay. Like you could have like another throwaway sort of villain in there to bulk to help you build up more like Max Dillon's backstory before making him Electro. I mean, but
yeah. He seemed to be like I don't know. Electro, whatever, you know.
Yeah.
Of all Spider-Man villains, you had at that point.
Yeah.
He wouldn't be the one that I choose to be the lead.
Yeah.
Like, okay, fair enough. Yeah, Vulture and Mysterio that were also used, but somehow they turned them into the main attractions.
Yeah.
They even had Shocker, and they used him.
Yeah.
So like, even if they weren't, you had a whole bunch. You have a whole bunch of Spider-Man villains to use.
Yeah, but
Electro's a henchman.
Yeah.
Unless you're really gonna do something that make you think he deserves to be a headliner. He's more of the, like you say, he's more of the front face guy.
Yeah.
And then you've got your background guy, leading, actually doing stuff. Which I think they tried with Harry, but he was so background that he didn't do anything until
when it was sort of convenient for storyline purposes. Yeah.
And they didn't even have any natural relationship.
No.
It was like, oh, you saved me because I needed you.
Yeah.
All right.
Because you need to save me because I can save you. Like, okay.
Yeah, but you need to defend the film. You need to start.
I'm gonna go into like the other good bits. For example, like him as Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man. Like,
yeah.
He's great. Like when he made jokes and stuff, it didn't feel forced. Like Tobey Maguire kind of feel like, oh, you're still not that cool guy. You're still a sort of.
Okay. Here's the thing. As much as Spider-Man doesn't say anything in Spider-Man 1 or 2, or 3 in this case, I will say the one time he did crack a joke in Spider-Man 1 where he said when Green Goblin said, "You're out, Spider-Man," and then he Tobey Maguire says, "You're the one who's out, Gobby, out of your mind." I'm like, well, I'm glad he's not cracking jokes because them jokes are terrible.
Yeah, dude.
Even the jokes that would have got cancelled when he was talking to Macho Man.
Yeah.
Which got cut. Which is like that's not okay. That's not well.
That's not very PC at the moment. Don't.
So I can't really say anything to that. I can't defend that, right? But if that's the quality of the jokes that were happening, it's probably better that they didn't. Right? That's not the best defense. That's the best lawyer defense I could give to that. But I will say, if I were to give a kid a scene from one of these two movies that gives you the impact of what Spider-Man is right away, it would be the first 10. No, not the first. after the credits, the title sequence of Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, that's
all the way to the bit where he actually, after Gwen's speech.
Yeah,
because he does a lot of Spider-Man stuff in that. Like he swings around the city, he talks rubbish, he captures criminals. He's
the little cool bit where he's got to try and get the plutonium without it spinning. Yeah,
and exactly. So I'll give it to you there, right?
Yes, thank you.
Because Tobey Maguire is not very comics Spider-Man.
Yeah,
even though he's a very comics Peter Parker.
Yeah. I'll give him that. But my boy Andrew Garfield, he actually did. Even though he was in his like mid-20s when he was Spider-Man, but they portrayed him like his aesthetic and stuff more as teenager rather than like Tobey Maguire was like, hey, I'm literally man who been kept behind in high school until now.
Okay. We're gonna have to separate certain things to certain degrees because I will say Tobey Maguire is more 60s Spider-Man. And Andrew Garfield is more Ultimate Spider-Man.
I don't know.
Not the current Ultimate Spider-Man, but the reboot Ultimate Spider-Man in the 2000s. He's more that kind of outsider type. So they're kind of still the same, but it's still different, and it depends on which one you're saying to compare to.
Yeah. I get that.
If you're comics accurate being the main 616 universe, then we will say that Tim Maguire is the better Peter Parker.
I don't know if I'll say modern Peter Parker, because I'll go with Andrew Garfield again. But
right.
I don't know. I don't know about it. Yeah. That is a tricky one.
It's one of those things where, by the way, is where you can defend it on both sides of the equation using both different continuities.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So we can stay divided on that one.
Yeah, we can stay divided on that one for now.
So but in no continuity was Electro was blue in Ultimate Spider-Man.
Yeah,
he was the white guy who was blue.
Yeah, and he was just like pure energy in it rather than
and he had his suit I believe had like it had the collar, but it had the lightning shape opening.
I think so. And didn't he have like the lightning burnt into his foot? Like his mask is kind of like burnt into his scalp, if I remember correctly.
Oh, something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Maybe
when he was normal or something. Yeah, I can't remember like that. Yeah.
Okay, to be fair, if as cliche as that sound, right? If Max Dillon did have the lightning bolt kind of like open collar look, I'd be like, all right. For what reason is a collar gonna be like that? But whatever,
but
right?
Sure, you're crazy. You can do what you want, I guess.
Yeah. So I will say as well. Like speaking of the additional villains,
yes.
Even that main guy who was trying to take over Oscorp was technically, he wasn't a main character movie, but he was kind of like another villain to add to the story, and it was like, all right, but we're really, and Dr. Kafka as well.
Oh yeah,
being the super, I will say that guy was a super ham, right? Yeah. He stood out in the film because everyone's trying to still play it serious, and he's like, nah. Nah, I'm in a pantomime.
That guy.
I got eyeliner, dark black hair. I got the white goth face look. Yeah, I'm a villain straight up.
That guy was. Yeah. But also, all right. Another thing I'll say about Amazing Spider-Man 2, it had more Easter eggs than any sort of the Sam Raimi films. They didn't really have any sort of Easter eggs like, oh yeah, he's Spider-Man. That's really there's no mention of like Ravencroft, the Vault, all this up like sort of stuff. So that's another thing I would say.
Oh, they did have the Dr. Octopus arms in there as well. Yep. And did they have the Venom symbiote, or is that in the trailer that they changed?
I think it was in the trailer they changed.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And they had the Rhino suit as well, which
suit, the Vulture wings.
Yeah. They had the Sinister Six, but they didn't.
Yeah. Yeah. It was there, but wasn't there. Yeah. They mentioned it, but never got around to it.
Yeah. And will we say that the guy who's at the end of the Harry's right hand man kind of geezer?
Yeah, Mr. Fist.
Oh, is that what? Okay.
Yeah,
Well, I was going to say, do we pretend that he's Mr. Negative, that version universe of Mr. Negative, even though Mr. Negative is a Chinese guy?
Yeah,
so.
I think that's someone they wouldn't race change. From honest,
No. I just okay. All right. It's just because Mr. Negative's in the game
Yeah,
as one of the Sinister Six members, which he's out of place because he's wearing a suit, right?
Yeah.
And also he's he's way later in continuity than all the other guys.
Say that. Yeah, he's way later.
Yeah.
He's like technically, if you think about it, he's still technically kind of new. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Even though you'll say 20 years old is not new, but still.
But for comics, isn't? Yeah, you know, it's that weird sort of conundrum.
Yeah. Look, I will say, Amazing Spider-Man 2 had potential when they were putting it together. It seemed right, but they just never lived up to it.
No.
I think, Amazing.
They kind of tried to reach too far without, you know, getting an opportunity to fulfill it. You know what I mean? It's like, hey, we're something for this and this and then this. You know, okay. Like,
It's
for example, Felicia, who could be Felicia Hardy, she was in this film. Yeah, I mean, sort of, all that sort of stuff, which is probably never going to come to fruition ever. So.
Yeah. And I did think, by the way, when we were watching the trailers, because you know when you forget when you don't know when which characters are which other characters, but the bald old man, who was trying to take over Oscorp, he was trying to oust Harry. I was like, oh, he could be he could be Adrian Toomes.
Yeah,
but... he wasn't, but I wouldn't have been surprised if he turned out to be. Yeah, and then he was the Vulture in the film, and then we got Harry in the next film.
Yeah.
Because this guy could have taken the tech suit and just been like, "Yeah, I'm taking over Oscorp," you know, sort of thing. But they got rid of him. They're like, okay, you know. Yeah. I think what they brought Harry in, and then they just did the cliche after cliche after cliche to get him to the point where he needed to be. Yeah. And then they did weird, wild things with Max Dillon to get him where they needed him to be, because I think was it a deleted scene or something like that, but. He had the cake from Spider-Man and he killed his mum, I think, somewhere like that.
Wait, oh, yes, I remember they cut that, didn't they? Yeah, I remember hearing about that. I never actually saw it, but I was like, oh, that's a bit of a
weird the thing is, though, I get it. It makes sense because he's unhinged, right? But then once he kills his mum, there's no sympathy for him. So
you can't really go
where do you
back.
go?
Yeah.
So that makes sense to me. It's like either you commit to it one way or you commit to it the other way.
Yeah.
Whereas Dr. Octopus, you always had sympathy for him because of the inhibitor chip that broke. Yeah. And his wife died, and you're like, he's just a dude, man. He's just a poor dude, just wallowing in grief, and then the arms, the super hyper intelligent arms, took advantage of him.
But you know, like,
and then he had his hero arc where he's like. No, you listen to me now. Yeah. So all wrapped around it made sense. And it was the only Spider-Man film without a funeral. I'll tell you that.
The only thing I'll say about this though, hindsight being 2020, and how the whole Dr. Octopus thing led into Spider-Man No Way Home. Yeah, okay, yeah. I forget. I allow it. But my sort of problem with it was back then. He now has a change of heart. I was like, all right, I kind of get it's the whole sympathy bit, redemption. He just should have went out a villain rather than
No. Okay. But he was never a villain. That's the thing. He was never the villain. He was just a man in a bad scenario. If he had a therapist, right? If he had a therapist, none of this would have happened.
No, it wouldn't. But still, I don't know. I just feel like I don't know. There's something about it. I don't know. It's it's for the whole Sam Raimi films. The villains always accidentally kill themselves, or have something to do with their own defeat. Okay, cool. I kind of get you can't have Spider-Man killing someone, but then he could just the Lizard in Main Spider-Man 1, he got arrested in the end, rather than getting murdered or murdering himself by accident, falling off. You know what I mean? That was kind of Only knock
Yeah.
I have though. One of the few knocks I have with the.
Well, okay. Now to defend things, superhero films in general, when they do that, it's just because they can't have they don't like the villain to know the hero's identity, because then they keep on coming after them. Or whatever. Right? Even in Smallville, where people found out Clark had powers, all of a sudden they died in that episode. Or whatever, right?
Lex Luthor, you keep getting amnesia.
Yeah. They just generally don't do it in that sort of time frame. Then we're looking at these movies at. So to say one or the other is just a bit. You're right. You are right. However, they all do it, and not to say excuses it, right? But that's the way that they seem to think along those lines.
Yeah.
Because I think partially it's just like, well, this villain's never going to come back anyway, so why tease him for the next movie or whatever?
Yeah.
Even though Adrian Toomes did survive in Spider-Man: Homecoming, and then where is he? He's in Morbius. All right.
Well. But it's one of those things, like, it's kind of a problem with all of back then anyway, like comic book films. You can easily have I don't know why in these films that the villain always has to find out their identity. Yeah. Like, you don't need to.
I don't. Okay, no. In Spider-Man 2, it makes sense, right? Because he had to reveal his identity to try and get him to overcome the controls of the tentacles. Yeah, right. That made sense. That made sense. And throughout the film, he didn't work it out, right? Yeah. For some reason, he's in even those hyper intelligent arms, right? 4 of them couldn't work out. Okay, hold on a minute. If I kidnap Mary Jane and a few parts, does that mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
It's just like. Yeah.
However, yeah. So, but it works. He revealed himself because it was part of the solution that he's trying to go for in the film, because he ran out of options. Yeah. Not like in, for example, The Flash in the TV series, where he's just like left, right, and center. Yeah. By the way,
Yeah. I don't. But I'm kind of glad they've have they actually gone away from that trope in comic movies now?
Well, yeah. To back you up in Amazing Spider-Man 2, Harry never found out his identity, and maybe if he did reveal his identity to Harry, stuff with Harry that later on would have happened, right? Yeah. We never know, because villains are going to villain anyways, right? But he never found out. He only worked out when the clues were right in front of him.
Yeah, he's like, oh, yeah. And then,
so he did a pretty good job keeping concealing his identity through the entire that Amazing Spider-Man 2. I will put it that way.
Yeah.
But I will knock this film really badly. I say at this point, right? We both know the saying is, with great power comes great responsibility. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, at the end of the film, after Gwen dies, just like, all right, I'm going to stand by graveyards for the grave for however many seasons.
5 months.
They went from winter to summer.
Yeah, 5 months.
However long it was, right? So you got all these people getting in trouble, dying, whatever. Man's just like, I'm just gonna, yeah. I mean, forget what Uncle Ben said. I got to come back over here to grieve, go to eat, go to the loo, come back, grieve, not have a job or nothing like that, because
depression.
Yeah. or the passage of time, because that's how they're doing it. I get what they're going for. It just didn't quite make sense how they do it sometimes.
It did and it doesn't, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Because so when what's his name? Captain Stacy dies in Amazing Spider-Man 1.
Yeah.
He kind of didn't he have a kind. If I remember correctly, because I see Amazing Spider-Man 1 ages, where he's like, maybe I shouldn't be Spider-Man, maybe I should. Actually, what I'm doing is helping people, and blah blah. But then,
I think the main point was that he didn't hook up with Gwen.
Yeah, he didn't bring Gwen into it. Yeah, but how him and Gwen's relationship in this film? I like their relationship in this film. I think it's better than the relationship in.
Yeah. I will. Okay. Now I will back up to a certain degree and say they did that though to lead to the end.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
So it kind of look, if their relation doesn't work, this whole film doesn't.
Yeah.
Look, the main crux of the film doesn't work if their relation doesn't work. I want to say the whole film doesn't work. It's just because there's other things to do with it, right?
Yeah.
However, if you didn't believe in their relationship, then the ending wouldn't hit you.
Yeah, of course, yeah. Because even yesterday on Watch, I was like, oh wow, this is quite.
Roll the tear.
Yeah, like oh gosh, but like, so and how their relationship was. Let me go back to the point. Like, if she died, and because Gwen kept saying to him how like important Spider-Man sort of is,
yeah,
he would like, you know what, I need to carry on because she would want me to carry on.
Yeah. I will say, here's the thing, right? When she cracked her head on the ground, I was like, is this a hope spot, right? Could she survive, right? But when her nose started bleeding, I was like, oh, they're committed. Good. Because they're like, no, the audience know. They stayed long enough where you're thinking, okay, maybe there'll be some sort of sign of her being alive. No. They went for it. They committed for it. Good on them. I wouldn't say they weren't coming with it exactly, but they did the similar execution of what it was supposed to be.
But like,
she should have been pregnant with Norman's child. Is that what you're gonna say?
No. Like, in the comics, it's sort of like he doesn't know whether she died before he caught her or.
Yeah, he doesn't know. But in the comic, there's when he webs her foot.
Yeah.
When she gets knocked to the film, there's a snap.
Yeah, but I'm saying like he doesn't. He doesn't definitively know, but like in this, he definitively. But then in this, did he? Realistically, wait. Did he actually kill her?
No, but he would look. She would have died regardless.
Yeah, that's saying.
Yeah. So whether he is complicit or not is different. He tried to save her. Is the way I'm going to put it, right? Yeah. So I will say that your Spider-Man is not a murderer because of that.
Yeah, no, he's not. He's a great man. But
right. So because look. If you're trying to save someone and then you cause their demise, it's different from they were in a dangerous situation anyway. So they were either gonna die.
Yeah, or not.
Yeah.
They're gonna die or die. Yeah, it's either.
It doesn't matter.
Doesn't
that point, right?
Doesn't make a difference at this point. Yeah.
And to be fair, Gwen wasn't a damsel in distress constantly, right?
No.
Mary Jane wasn't either. Well, she was and she wasn't. She had to be the hostage.
With Mary Jane, they towed that thin line between like any second she could be one or the other.
Yeah. Because watching this movie by itself, you're like, all right, that's one time. But then it's in the other movie and the movie after as well. So it's like, all right, you know. Okay. Yeah. But if you're just saying the movie by itself, she got kidnapped for a particular reason to lure that guy who's Spider-Man over there, you know, so Dr. Octopus can get his equipment to do the stuff he could.
Yeah.
At least as well, there was an end goal for Dr. Octopus.
Yes.
Whereas, what's Max's end goal?
To be
did he bros with Spider-Man? Did he like fist bump? If Spider-Man said to him, we're bros now, we're buddies, yeah?
Yeah.
Max then would have been like, oh yeah, cool.
Yeah.
And that's it. Movie finished.
Yes. Like, there was... like, there's a weird bit about... Okay, when he becomes Electro and a little fight in Times Square, which, again, that scene's awesome, how it's all... How to do the spider sense as well when he sees who... That's dope. But, like Max is meant... you can tell he's messed up, but it's kind of like... Spider-Man didn't attack you at first anyway. He tried to help you and stuff, and then he saved people, and you took that the wrong way. You know what I mean? It was a weird, like... Okay, what?
Okay, here's the thing, right? If they tweaked it slightly differently...
Yeah.
Because... all the screens had Max's face on it, right?
Yeah. And
if you're doing it as a narcissistic personality, or whatever you want to say, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, screens on me. I'm the main guy, yeah? I'm the man, right? Everything, you know, all the guy's attention on me. And then he causes the blackout web, and Spider-Man rescues people, and then the cameras go to Spider-Man because he's done good, right?
Yeah.
And according to Max, Spider-Man's now taking his glory, right? Then you could go that way and say, right? Yeah. He's petty. He's petty. He's got ego. You know, and it's all about him because he was never somebody to be a nobody to begin with, and now
now
any notoriety is good notoriety.
Yeah,
no, but they didn't kind of go in that direction, or they didn't make it obvious enough they were going in that direction. If that's what they're doing, because they kind of all it was is that he was obsessing over Spider-Man for
reasons.
yeah. I mean, Spider-Man saved him the one time, and then you're like, all right.
Yeah, but then that's because how they portray him like he has no friends. So I guess when Spider-Man goes, "Yeah, you're my eyes and ears," he's like, "Oh, I finally have a friend," even though a grown adult would be like, "Yeah, that's someone just pandering towards me." Well, sure, all right. Friends for life.
Yeah.
But all right, you say something good about your film for a minute.
I
kind of interspersing between the two, so that's cool.
I can say many a good film about my film. I say this. Right. When a woman is about to get married, yeah, and then she runs out of her wedding for you, that's committed. That's how committed she is. You know, like you leave someone else at the altar for the wedding, right? The caviar as well. Don't open that.
No, you know what I'm gonna say about that? She has not survivor guilt. What's that? Crisis trauma bonding. That's it. Because she's been through so much trauma, and so Robin Spider-Man's like, oh, I love him because of that. It's not like really.
It's true. I was just making fun of it.
No, so much.
But yeah,
it's like
it seemed like John Jameson's son was just there to be a prop.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
For the division between MJ and Peter Parker to keep them slightly apart.
Yeah, that's literally what it is.
Yeah. No, however, and he did he ever interact with Peter? I don't even think he interacted with Peter at all.
No, I think they might meet at the engagement party. I think that's about it.
No. They never met at the engagement party.
Oh, okay then. Wow.
They were at the same place at the same time, but I don't think they ever met. Yeah. Yeah. Look, I got where Peter was coming from through the movie, you know, and even that he had self-doubts, and then it caused his powers to kind of dwindle.
Yeah. And
then he's like, you know what? I'm just gonna be Peter Parker. I'm Spider-Man no more. And you're like, yeah. Even though illogically, why would you do that with Dr. Octopus is still about, right?
Yeah, that was a weird bit. Like that doesn't really make any sense. But all right, sure.
But how they set up the relationship between Dr. Octopus and Peter Parker made sense. Like it's mentor-mentee relationship.
Yeah.
Because then it wrapped around towards the end as well.
Yeah.
How Harry's involved with that makes sense as well.
Yeah.
And how Doc Ock outsmarted Spider-Man in the fights. Because logically, how's he going to be able to fight someone with those capabilities?
Yeah.
Right? And definitively win as well.
Yeah.
And then deliver him to Harry. And then when Harry pulls off the mask, he sells the shock.
Yeah.
That's a man crumbling before your eyes. And then realizes like when Peter says, "Look, there's stuff bigger than me and you," and he's going to build the machine. He's going to destroy it. Like he's going to destroy everything. You know.
Yeah.
And Harry's just going to sit there, accept that what he's done, and go. And tell him where he is, and then he's silently seething on the inside because he's like Spider-Man. Peter's been keeping a secret from me, like that he is Spider-Man.
But
and then when he throws the knife against him, like when he's had that crisis of conscience where Norman's in the mirror talking to Harry.
Yeah.
And then he's like, because I think at that point he's like, I can't, as much as he's Peter and he's Spider-Man. Harry is physically not able to do anything.
Yeah.
And then luckily, he throws the knife through the mirror, and then he's like, yeah, actually Goblin formula.
Yeah. But like, even though everyone complains about this, and you probably know where I'm going, it's like this whole crisis, this bit could be averted if the butler just went, "Oh, yeah, by the way, Spider-Man didn't kill Dad, killed himself," instead of you going for like 3 years or however long between these.
Well. Depending on how the original version. Okay, now I accept that. Except that I think the original version of the film, Spider-Man 3 or whatever, the butler was going to be a hallucination. I think he was going to be alive in the first movie, and then second and third movie never existed or whatever, and it was Harry kind of having a denial that what he saw in Spider-Man 1. So going along those lines, we can accept the Butler did tell him, right? But if you don't, then it just kind of like, wait, hold on, you let man 5 years, right?
Yeah, you would say 5
years.
You
just let him stew for
go into this deep like downward spiral of like stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, because it's like 2 sentences. Oh yeah, no, your dad, Spider-Man killed your dad. I found him. Yeah, he stabbed himself with his glider. Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. Well, the other thing is like, here's the most oddest thing is, so if it was the Butler, for some, even in the first film, Harry saw them, right? He didn't see the Butler. Yeah. Right. I mean, the Butler wasn't there to see it.
Yeah.
However, when Spider-Man's coming back, right, with the naked body of your dad.
Yeah.
The explanations need to be given.
Yeah.
You know.
Like if he brought him back with like in clothing, I'm like, okay, then there may be a reason why he's.
Well, to be fair, he might have had the.
He had the clothing. Yeah. So.
No. He might have had the. Well, he was naked on the top half and then wrapped in a curtain, whatever it is, right? But. When you're naked, when Harry unveils his body, he's gonna see him naked, shanked in the hips, with no clothes. All right,
there's like more questions to that, all right? Like,
yeah, 100%.
Because but then this is another thing that Harry's logic is dumb. We'll get back to our point in a minute. But like, why would Spider-Man randomly have your dad? You know what I mean? Like he's been portrayed as a good guy through the media and everything. You know what I mean? But then why would?
No. In these films, remember in these films, he's always J. Jonah James. James is always digging him, right?
Yeah.
You could say that because what the media says, or those particular bits of the media, the ones that you follow and listen to, if depending on which side of the equation you're on, because like you might be a fan of the movie and I might not be a fan of the movie, and then we go discuss. But even in you might be religious and I might have another religion, so we always follow the ones that reinforce our beliefs. Whether you want to say you should be biased or not, or you should be more level-headed or whatever, right? So he's seen Spider-Man kill his dad. He's like, all right, well now the evidence of the newspapers saying that he is a menace retroactively and now afterwards all makes sense. Spider-Man is a menace.
But then
he's drawn his own conclusions
from like lots of it's insanity. But like it's like if there was like newspaper articles like saying legit like Spider-Man's killed this person or whatever, then you kind of like okay. But then it's openly known that your dad's gone a bit crazy. So wouldn't you?
I will also defend that. Yeah. First of all, the power of denial, right?
Yeah.
Is a huge thing, right?
Yeah, it is, yeah.
So you could say like, okay, he saw the body. It's like, well, no, I don't like. As long as he doesn't accept it and doesn't believe it, it's not the truth.
No.
But the other thing is like the way how he looks up to his dad. How can he accept the truth anyways?
Yeah.
So it's 1 step, 2 step thing with you.
Yeah.
And then he's like, well, if the truth doesn't matter, if the truth is over there, locked in a closet, tied up with the key thrown away, right? And then put in a bunker underneath the bunker,
then
the other section that's left over there, that must be it. That's what my goal is, which is Spider-Man killed him and therefore I have to kill Spider-Man. Forget logic, as we do sometimes. Now if you want to say does that make sense? No, but then we're going to say a traumative upbringing with idolization, right? Parental idolization. Always wanted to be like his dad. Even when his dad was blazing MJ and he's like, you know nothing, you shut your mouth, woman. He didn't actually say these lines. He's like
grateful to be half the man he is.
Exactly. So it's like at that point you're like, whatever it's gonna be is gonna be, right? Even when he was asking Peter, "Oh, how are you?" and then he's like, "Oh, it's still taking pictures of your friend." You can hear the snidiness behind it, right? And even when he gets drunk and he's like, "Slap, slap," right? On his best and only friend, that's how the power of
denial.
I want to say revenge, grief, mixed in with look, his character arc makes sense, and I know I'm exaggerating and adding things that aren't present. Well, not necessarily blatant in the film, but are present.
Yeah.
In order to get to the point, right? But it's just like, yeah.
Like
the only difference I could give to that is just say, he's like, nah, this never happened. Even though you point out to him in front of him, right? He's closing his eyes, going, no.
Yeah. So it's like one of those things. Even though I said it doesn't make sense, but it makes sense if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, yes. So I would say, yeah, okay. Is Spider-Man 2 portrayal of Harry Osborn better than Amazing Spider-Man 2? I don't know. I think they're both the same, if I'm honest.
Well, no. You can't say. Okay, well, you can't say that, right? Because Harry comes in there in space. Is Amazing Spider-Man 1. He could have been anybody. He didn't. If it wasn't Oscorp, right?
Yeah.
If it was Roger Kingsley's building, then he could have been this. It could have been Roger Kingsley, and this whole thing could have been exactly the same.
Yeah.
There was, other than Oscorp, there was nothing for him to be specifically Harry Osborn until the end as well, where he gets Goblin suit. But like I said, if he was Roger Kingsley, he would have been the Hobgoblin, and it would have been that.
Yeah.
Or if whoever was playing Jack O'Lantern at the time, or however they want to do it, Even it could be Menace, not even though Menace is the woman.
Is it Hobo? What was it? The weird goblin that could. He didn't need a glider and he could fly. Oh, what was his name?
Not the Demo Goblin.
I think it was. Yeah, I don't know why.
No, the one with the fire kind of Hulk. The one that was an actual demon.
Yeah, the one from.
Which would have been too weird for these films.
That's too much to sort of. Then you start bringing in double.
You're gonna have an occult. What's it called in somewhere? To be fair though, if the Demo Goblin was in Moon Knight, I probably could accept that.
Yeah, I could accept that because that's all like super.
Even though it'd be a bit weird to be like, okay, but if the supernatural and the supernatural crossed together, or if he was in Ghost Rider, it would have made sense.
Yeah. Well, they're both Harry Osborns are terrible. If I'm honest.
Okay. I think Harry Osborn's arc in Spider-Man 2 is better than his one in Spider-Man Amazing Spider-Man.
I agree with that. But it's only because you get a payoff with Spider-Man 3. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, even at that, you get a payoff of him finding out that Peter's Spider-Man at the end of the film, and then you're like, what's he gonna do? What's the end game here? When he finds the Goblin formula and stuff like that, it's like, okay, how are we gonna do it? Whereas in your one, it's like, okay, well, I did this all to myself, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And now I've got the tech suit, and it's saying I'm critically injured and he's trying to heal me, whatever, right?
Yeah.
And now I'm going to go off and go and find Spider-Man to kill him, even though
I don't really need to at this point.
Yeah. A power spy, apparently.
Yeah.
And the bits they cut the trailer would have been intriguing for the actual film, because it's like how he was telling Peter that he was getting spied on by Oscorp.
Yeah. But
it was never back. It was never in the film. And I think they would have built them a better friendship, because they sort of known each other from the past, right? Even though you know how it is when people just magically appear out of nowhere, never mentioned before.
You're like, but we're best friends. Like, wait, what?
Yeah. But even then, if you were best friends from a while ago, and you're like, okay, well, my company's looking into you, and that's why I knew we were connected because I come back. Yeah. However, I've been working for my company, and there's a bit later on which I should warn you about.
Yeah.
Then at least that gives them something more. Yeah. Whereas, as it is, it's just like, well, yeah, but we're meant to be good old friends. Yeah.
Yeah. But then it's kind of, cause they kind of I was gonna say bring in Spider-Man 3, but that's nothing to do with this. But I was gonna the whole Sandman sort of like, yeah. By the way, that guy didn't shoot your uncle. It was this guy. Who?
Yeah. No. I'm gonna be a lawyer. I'm gonna play my other lawyer. Can't say. You have to disregard that because that's got nothing to do with this film.
That's what I'm saying. So yeah, that's what I can't bring that up.
No. I get what you're saying. Saying, and it makes sense. I can't defend that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a weird little. Yeah, but I would say as well. The side plots in Amazing Spider-Man 2
Well, I think to be fair, most of the film was probably side plot. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like, and again, I love this film. I actually do legit like it. So I'm amazed by that too. The beginning, the whole airplane dad stuff, yeah, looks cool. But then afterwards, I was like, did this need to be here? No,
I still don't even get what that thread was all about.
Neither do I.
Why? I was going to say, why only the Peter Parker, like only Parker DNA, blah blah blah. But that's in Amazing Spider-Man 1, so I can't really, want to really say specifically on number 2. But even number 2, where they're on the plane and he's got whatever information. They're like, where was that going? You know?
Yeah, because I guess it's got something to do with the whole Spider-Man. Like,
what would you say? Even though it was the deleted scene ending, when he came back,
I was gonna bring that. Yeah, like.
Would that have made more sense for then why Spider-Man became Peter Parker was Spider-Man again?
Kind of, and it'd be kind of like, wait, where are we going with this? Sort of.
Yeah, no, but if that's slotted in before the actual before the Rhino bit, would you think? Okay, there's a transition point from where the man's just standing there, withering away in life.
Yeah.
In a beanie. Then his dad says, "Look, where was his dad? His 5 months before all of that. Anyways, right? And then when did his dad know where to go? Whatever, right? Anyways, and he said he had the hug off with his son, and then you go into the Rhino scene. At least there's something, but
I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like if it came after the Rhino scene, I don't know. It feels like it makes more sense to me because.
Okay.
Then you're like, okay, oh.
Oh, you mean like a mid-credit scene?
Yeah.
Because the end where he's swinging the sewer top around, and then the credits happen. And
then like mid-credit scene, it would kind of make more sense.
Right. Yeah.
But it still doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, there might have been a payoff in the first film, right?
Yeah, it might have
been. But I even from the first film to the second film, I didn't like it because I didn't know where they were going with it. What's his name? Richard and Mary Parker are not really important in the Spider-Man lore.
No.
So they did not need to be there.
No.
Or the only important thing is that Mary gave birth to Peter.
Yeah, that's literally it. That's
yeah. Other than that, we don't need to. You don't even. Yeah. And then and like Ben Parker dies, and
like
even Aunt May got more to do in Spider-Man 2 than in Amazing Spider-Man. Aunt May was critical in a few scenes. She helped him. She helped smack Doc Ock across the head, which probably should have concussed the guy. But whatever, right? Whatever. She saved Spider-Man. You cannot even deny that.
Yeah, but like in the Amazing Spider-Man series, Aunt May seemed like more loving and intent towards Peter. Like you could see her struggling, trying to be like a single parent, technically, and all that. You see her struggle. Like, okay. And
how can you be more loving than to save the life of your nephew, even though you didn't even know it was him?
That's the thing. She was doing it for the glory. But like,
she's doing it for her.
She's doing it for her.
Yeah, because she did say when Spider-Man says, "At least we taught him," right? And she goes, "What do you mean we?" Yeah, so I'll make sure her true self.
Yeah. And like I've never even in the comics, I've never been a fan of like geriatric looking Aunt May. Where questions like,
but will you say Rosemary Harris then looks more comics accurate than Sally Field?
Yeah, but again, I don't like the comic book version of how they portray it.
No. I will strike the records from the rest of the sentence. I just want to hear the yes. No, but it like you're saying, realistically, people say Marissa Tomei looks too young to be Aunt May. But it's like, wait, she is actually the correct age. All the rest of the Aunt Mays were really old. Yeah. However, in the 60s, people of that age probably did look that haggard, right?
Yeah.
So when you get a 78-year-old to play a Dom's aunt, who's and they're 16 supposedly, then it still makes sense. but nowadays it doesn't.
Yeah. Oh, because that's the only thing I was like. So she is in retirement and she's looking after teenage. Wait, what?
Yeah. Well. Yeah.
Then it makes you wonder, like, so she's technically old enough to be his mum's mother. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's like that.
Hey, look. In the comics, she got with J. Jonah Jameson's dad. So
Yeah.
and J. Jonah Jameson's like 50 plus, so his dad's
again. He's
80?
another character whose age to me has always like fluctuated. Like, is he in his 60s?
Oh, look. Well, I want to put it this way. Only one of them Aunt Mays of the three that have been in the movies. Yeah. Only one of them could have really got with Dr. Octopus, like Dr. Octopus. I mean, Aunt May did kind of get in the comics. But, yeah. And it wouldn't have made any sense, even though I don't want to say, oh, Dr. Octopus is married here, but even if they were trying to do...
Yeah.
Like, no. If she was Marissa Tomei and there was Alfred Molina...
Yeah, it makes sense. Okay, yeah, you know.
Well, even Sally Field, even Sally Field.
Yeah. It's just,
lucky they weren't going that route.
And
I will say, the Amazing Spider-Man costume is, I think we've said it before, the most comic accurate looking Spider-Man costume. Yeah. However, if the Spider-Man 2 costume had black lines instead of silver lines, would you say it would be just as accurate?
No,
or would you say it's the eyes?
It's the eyes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the eyes for me with that one. It's like, okay. Like, Amazing Spider-Man 2 eyes were like the best ones, if I'm honest. Yeah. Even though in the Spider-Man MCU one they could open and close. Yeah, which is kind of cool, but it's not the same. Yeah. It kind of makes it too cartoony. That makes sense. Yeah.
Well, you could give him you could do the Rock's eyebrow. You know, you close one eye, open the other one, right? Yeah.
Which is cool, but
yeah. Okay. Even though I have to defend my film, right? Yeah. I will say, web shooters. Yeah, web shooters.
Yeah.
Now, we have an intelligent Peter Parker being shown to be able to do science stuff without having to develop his own web shooters.
Yeah.
So, there's no crutch there. There's no crutch there.
No.
You're telling the story rather than showing it, right?
Yeah.
So, they took web shooters away from him to show how intelligent he was by using other science things.
Yeah. Which... Okay.
It's a bad. The JD defense I have it. I can't go anywhere else.
You're saying that, which is hilarious, yeah. Because I've mentioned before, I'm playing the old Spider-Man, the movie game, and you have to find not power-ups like web fluid, so you can do webs. But in those films, his webs is organic, so realistically, your web shouldn't run out.
Well, I'll throw a defense in there as well and say, look. Just like how the Venom symbiote used to make webs, and if you made too much, then the symbiote kind of like how Tony Stark with the nanotech when you're fighting Thanos.
Yeah.
So the costume would kind of use itself up.
Yeah.
I'm going to say that the same here, where he's got to replenish his web fluid by biological means, which means when you're going in the game to collect web food, you're collecting the thing that will help replenish his web food.
Okay, yeah, I will allow it.
I'm just connecting the dots here.
That way, it makes sense. But that makes sense.
That's not what they were doing.
No, they wasn't. It's being lazy.
Yeah. I will say it's cool that Andrew Garfield could, like, with his web shoes, he can do other stuff with it, like when he was connecting the stuff for Electro and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I like the mechanical web shooters. They are better, and they give a more sense of danger if something.
Yeah.
If we were to run out, or whatever it is, you know?
It gives him that sense of urgency. Like, okay, this could run out, and if it runs out, I'm screwed because I need to switch.
Yeah, even though he can jump massive buildings and
stuff like that. But yeah, still, it's like there's a sense of danger there. But the organic one's like, oh, okay, he just does them. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
It just does. It does, right? You leave it alone.
Like, I get, like, there's that weird period in the comics where they made him have organic web shooters and that, and the spike for the wrist and that. And then, like, I kind of understand if when they made Ben Riley and Kane or whatever, they had organic web shooters because they probably could tinker with the DNA to make that happen. I'm like, okay, that would make sense to me, right?
Yeah.
But
well, clone stuff. You know what I mean?
yeah, you know, it doesn't make sense and it makes sense. You know.
Yeah. I like how the Mark of Kane was just him using his web adhesive powers, but to a massive degree where it melts your face.
Yeah, which
because he burns in, and then when Kane sees flashes of the future, it's because it's the spider sense, but really exaggerated. Yeah, okay, I buy it. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, question. This is Spider-Man related, but not movie related. Yeah. Where is Kane right now?
Yeah, good question. Because
I know Ben Riley is what's his name? Chasm. Yeah. I think Kane's still. I don't know. I have to look into that. Because didn't he die during Clone Conspiracy? I can't remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Kane died and came back, so
yeah, that's his ammo, isn't it? So hey.
Yeah.
Him and Ben Riley, that's their thing, dying and coming back. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. So yeah. Amazing Spider-Man 2. I think. Okay. Now let me start picking. Holes in your film. Yeah. Okay. So what was Electro? Electro was a villain just to be a villain, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Of course.
He was obsessive to be obsessive, and Harry Osborn also. It's like, oh, you wouldn't give the blood to me to save myself, therefore you're the enemy, even though he don't know what is going to happen if he does take the blood.
Yeah.
Because it will cure him apparently.
Yeah.
Because his dad died. It was like, oh, so your dad died. You might have the degenerative disease, or no, he did, right? He did. He
did.
Yeah. And you're like, somehow Spider-Man's DNA will fix it, even though you don't know who's underneath the Spider-Man mask. So how do you know?
But not even that, because I was thinking about this now as well. Even while watching it, it's like, okay, he found a document that stuff saying that the spider DNA they're using it to kind of like create superhumans and kill diseases and all that stuff, blah blah blah. And wouldn't he think that his dad would have already tried this because his dad knew he was dying and he was doing all this research, so he would have tried this already?
I see. This is why it's like, okay, so those spiders, whatever they're doing, Richard Parker was fiddling about them with his own DNA. So indirectly, is Richard Parker's DNA
it doesn't. I guess it's Peter's DNA.
Oh, then why would you go and kill the guy? Why would you go and try and kill the guy?
Yeah, it doesn't really make any sense.
Yeah.
I don't know. But you would have found any ending.
Was it? Yeah. A life model decoy. Did you think it better that Felicia wasn't Felicia Hardy? She was just some lady called Felicia?
I don't know. I feel like.
Or do you think that was a subplot that kind of could have been somewhere, but they first thought it, and then they're like, nah, actually.
I think when they originally, this is like me, my brain thinking of this. Like I kind of think that they probably filmed more bits with alluding to her being Felicia Hardy, like the whole MJ stuff. Okay. Well, MJ is meant to be in the film originally, blah, blah, blah. And then when it got closer, it was like, okay, maybe we just cut this out and then leave her as Felicia, and then if we want, we can kind of revisit in Amazing Spider-Man 3. Well, yeah.
Look, I will say this, right? Amazing Spider-Man 2 made me want to watch Spider-Man 3. Yeah. Amazing Spider-Man 2 did not exactly make me think, okay, I want to see Amazing Spider-Man 3. Even though I was interested to see where they're going, it wasn't like one of those where like, oh yeah, I can't wait to see. In fact, Spider-Man No Way Home made me think, all right, you know what? Amazing Spider-Man 3, I feel like could be something it's underneath this regime.
Yeah, which I get it. Yeah, it makes sense. I kind of, even though I was like, oh yeah, I can't wait for Spider-Man 3, blah, blah, and then those leaks happen, and I was like, you know what? Let's kind of give the rights back to Marvel, kind of, but we keep everything else and make one of the best films ever, Venom. But,
well, here's the thing, because they keep on saying that Spider-Man exists in the Venom verse or whatever.
Yeah.
Why don't you just have Andrew Garfield there? Just, you know.
You could, because really,
because they don't deny he exists there,
Yeah.
even though, you know.
and it kind of works out because Venom 1 came out in 2016, and it was at 2020. No, it was at 2018.
2018, I think.
Oh, then I could have said you kind of go. It's like 2 years. You kind of get around it. But yeah, even 2018 is 4 years. Yeah, you know, it could still be real time, I guess. Yeah, you know, yeah, Spider-Man's still about. Yeah, I mean, it kind of you can still fit in there. But then there's some weird sort of rumor going around now that apparently a young Peter Parker is in Venom: The Last Dance, which I don't know. I think people are just reaching at this moment.
Maybe they're saying that the Peter Parker that was born in Madam Web is in Venom 3.
But then he would be like 20 odd.
Oh yeah. Sorry, yeah.
Madam Web's like set 2003, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
So like Andrew Garfield wise, it lines up.
Well, no, it wouldn't have, because 2003 if he was born, then 2012 when Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man takes place, he'd be 10 years old.
Yeah. No, none of it lines up. No. Massive.
They should have just made Madam Web take place in the 90s. I think that would have resolved a lot of things.
Yeah, like late 90s, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because they would have kind of panned out. Yeah.
Well, no, or they didn't just put it as the past or whatever.
Yeah,
you know, they didn't even need to put a definitive timeline on it because nothing's too outdated.
Yeah.
The only thing they need to put in Madam Web is which Spider-Man they were going to try and align it with. And if they couldn't work it out, they should have just left it as undefinitive.
Yeah.
And as Peter Parker's been born, we would have known it was taking place in the past. So,
yeah.
Yeah. So. You're saying that Gwen Stacy and Mary Jane. You're saying that Gwen Stacy was a better love, not the relationship. I'm talking about the characters. Would you say she was a better, more rounded character in Amazing Spider-Man 2's Gwen Stacy was, or
yes, I would say, because it kind of felt like
give me why
she was her own person.
Okay,
because like Mary Jane's whole thing in Spider-Man 2 is like, oh, I need one of these two men for me to be happy.
Actually, which two men? Because she had Harry before, and then she had Flash Thompson in the previous one, so that's like 4 guys.
Yeah, but I'm talking about in like just between like that's in Spider-Man 2. It's like, oh, I need one of these men to be happy, rather than hey, let me step back and think maybe there's something wrong with me, rather than me being with Mr. quote unquote Mr. Boring, J. Jameson's son, or Mr. I can nearly die any day and bring you with me, Spider-Man, Peter Parker. So maybe I need to sit back and then
see. Now here's the thing
from New York and then find a normal human being.
Here's the thing, and I could give a defense here, a good defense, right?
All right.
So I know we're gonna use the movies outside of the one we're talking about. However, you saw an abusive household, right?
Yeah. Of course, yeah.
So her dad was, right, and even in the first movie, you rested it. Oh, even my dad came to watch me in the play. He came to ask for cash, right? So we knew that her dad is shady already, and they're no longer with them, whatever, right? She is trying to look for love and approval, right?
Yeah.
And the best way she could go about that is to be in relationships, because then she's getting the affection, right?
Yeah.
That she was needing because her dad never gave it to her, right? Yeah. So when she's with these guys who are being attentive to her and being the opposite of how her dad was to her, she's like, they must be good guys, man. They you know, I say that's a byproduct of a bad upbringing. I don't blame her. Her dad is the problem, right? And then it caused her to be this way. That
makes sense.
And then he's like, you know what? That's. And then she becomes like her dad in the end by running out another guy to go to be with someone else.
Yeah.
What a trooper. She learned the lessons
Did she though?
She learned the lessons that need to be learned to become what she didn't want to become, to get what she wanted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
Look, you know how when they say the victim sometimes becomes the victimizer, right?
Yeah.
She's victimized. Like John Jameson was the guy who became. He was the guy who got victimized. Yeah.
Yeah. She did.
No, okay. No, but in all honesty, like when you look at it from that circle, right? You're like, it makes sense what she does.
Yeah, it makes sense.
However, it's like, wow, okay, that's kind of
a bit much.
A bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're saying that Gwen Stacy is more rounded character.
Yes. Like, you know, she actually wants to go off to university and do something with herself. And...
Yeah. I asked you this then. Gwen Stacy had family in the first Amazing Spider-Man film, yes?
Yes.
Where were they?
They were in this one.
In Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, you see her brothers and her mum.
Oh, yeah. At the graduation scene, right?
Yeah, and then when they invite Peter to go to Chinese with have Chinese food with them, and then Peter's like...
Oh, we're still at the beginning of the film, by the way. Still at the beginning of the film. And then they disappear for like the entire film until the funeral at the end.
Yeah, well, you don't need to see him in between that, do you? Mm-hmm.
Well, I suppose, like, it is true. It is true, and it actually makes it, because it's kind of a bit more isolated about Peter and Gwen.
Yeah,
it made you believe in their relationship more. Yeah, like not believe in it more, but just like concentrate on it more.
Yeah.
I will say, Stalker Man. I'm not talking about Superman Returns, by the way.
Yeah.
Stalker Spider-Man, right? Where he's following her to work. Like, dude, then you have your own work. Then you have your own studies. What are you really doing with your life?
Yeah,
you know?
that stuff is weird.
The college dropout.
Yeah, that's.
And then he's still got, like, from whatever that he's talking about that extended amount of time, he still takes 5 months off to stand there by her graveyard. So this guy clearly has no job, even though had you have the money to survive, whatever, you know.
That is true. That is true, but
maybe he is a menace. Maybe he's just robbing the people that he beats up. I don't know.
Maybe. I wouldn't be surprised. It is hard out there, you know. But I don't know, man. I don't know. Relationship. It's like you said. It seems like it's more related to them rather than will they, won't they? Even though we know they will. Sort of in
and then they won't, because we also know that.
Yeah.
Did you expect her to die in this film? You did.
Yes and no.
All right. If Mary Jane was introduced in this film, I'd be like, okay, I think I know where this is heading. And also, when she's talking at the beginning about the graduation speech about how everyone people believe they all live we are immortal somehow.
Yeah, we'll live forever.
Yeah. Then you're like, I think this is heading in a particular direction, and if she doesn't get killed, she'll get severely injured.
Yeah, which isn't good.
Yeah. So I think in this movie, it kind of gave away the ending before it was the end. Before you got to the end.
Yeah, it did.
Even though, like, me and you know the comics, we were like, okay, she's gonna bite the dust at some point, right?
Yeah. We're like, she's gonna.
But when she's talking about how, you know, college life, living forever, you know, that's how we perceive ourselves, whatever, right?
Yeah.
You're like, oh no, I think this is gonna be the same speech that plays. Like, I'm not saying it's cliche, but it's like, I know what that is relevant because something else is gonna happen, and that's gonna get replayed later on.
Yeah. Oh god, it's coming, isn't it? Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
With the Gwen memory stick, yeah. It's a bit.
Yes. Yeah. I do have to say as well, as decorative as it is, where Spider-Man, he sweeps when Gwen's in the taxi going to the airport, and he's spider-webbed I love you on the bridge and stuff like that, and it's like, I mean, yeah, but the people cleaning up the bridge, I mean, is that Spider-Man webbing, does it dissolve?
I think it does, know, like, I think he mentions it in the first one when he makes it. But yeah, it's like still.
So just like Batman painting the gasoline on the bridge.
Yeah.
To do the signal, spending hours doing that, right?
Yeah, like, that's so
Spider-Man's
cool.
like, oh, by the way, I'll just. Yeah. Yeah, that's it.
Inconvenience anyone. Yeah, it's a bit.
I'll spend hours here. Right, well, I spend hours not doing anything anyway, so then I don't have a job, therefore, yeah, okay, it makes sense. You don't have a job, so he's got time to start webbing up the bridge. Okay,
yeah, but
okay.
Still, it's like,
all right.
There's other ways of you could have just declared your love for this woman, but sure, okay, cool. I mean, like, oh, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh, great guy.
Yeah. So you're okay. So you're saying the Gwen Stacy character is a better character or has a better story arc?
She has a better story arc.
Okay.
Because I don't like. Yeah, she just has a better story arc, even though her story arc is I'm here to die.
I will say this. Okay. So in Spider-Man 2, right?
Yeah.
Now at the end of Spider-Man 2, you just assumed that Peter Parker will get with Mary Jane at some point, right? And it didn't happen. Yeah. So the end of Spider-Man 2, you're like, she's with John Jameson, so maybe she still won't get with Peter there. There's still the tension, right? Yeah. Whereas in this film, you're like, okay, well that's that and that's that. There's no one in there trying to be a bit more, having the stakes and stuff like that. Which I think benefited, like we said before, benefited film because she would have, if she was say, there was some other guy trying to poke their head in as a love interest. You're like, yeah, but when it hits the end, it wouldn't hit as hard.
Yeah, exactly. Why? Yeah, so I mean, like, why?
So they took away one thing, but they needed to have that to get to another thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Your Spider-Man.
It's best, yeah.
No. He needed someone to save him. He couldn't fight his own battles, right? So when he's fighting Electro at the end, he needed Gwen to come save him, because he couldn't handle it by himself. Apparently, a henchman Electro, is too much for your Spider-Man. Yeah. I know you're gonna be like a disingenuous say he got saved by a woman because it don't matter,
no,
right? That the gender does not matter in that equation, yeah.
No.
Your guy needed help. Your guy needed help, because he couldn't handle his own business.
So your guy needed his own villain to like, yeah, you know what? I'm gonna stop beating you up, and I've come out of my concussion, and like, oh yeah, maybe I have done something wrong. Let me save the day.
No, you got it all wrong. You got it all wrong, brother. Right? You got it all wrong, right? Because what he did was he was fighting the villain, then he was like, aha, right? Use some of this Jeff Jarrett style and make the villain defeat himself. You can't argue that. Dr. Optimus killed himself because Spider-Man talked to him. Power words.
No, Spider-Man lucked into that victory, if I'm honest.
What do you mean? He knew exactly what to say and how to say it to make a guy go, you know what? Maybe he even got a guy to do a heel face turn, and then he got the guy to sacrifice himself.
Even though him sacrificing himself doesn't make sense either, because how that machine worked, even underwater, it still would have sucked everything into it.
Well, you know what? We don't know the science of a fantasy world. That's my defense, right?
I was watching some video and someone saying like how they described it in the film. If that was real, what they did would not have worked. Like we all still would have died. Like, oh, okay.
Well. Tritium does exist in the real world, and it doesn't do the things it does in the movie.
Okay.
So we will say the laws of physics.
Yeah. Doesn't apply.
Isn't necessarily the same.
As
and you don't know exactly what the device does. We're not scientists, but even in the science fantasy world, we don't know what the device does against water.
Yeah.
It's like saying for me saying to you, for example, so Superman's invincible, is bulletproof, whatnot, right?
Yeah.
So then, how come when you throw water in his hair, it gets wet?
But does it actually get wet?
Yeah. How's he gel his hair?
He's got some Kryptonian gel. I don't know. That's how I write off a lot of things with Superman.
We just ignore it, though. That's the thing. We just ignore it.
Something to do with Krypton. I don't know. Yeah, that's how I kind of do it.
Yeah. Let me think. Yeah. your Green Goblin is essentially Two-Face because sometimes he's in control, sometimes he isn't in control. Turns green on half his face there. Yeah.
Wait, what?
He's got split personality disorder, I think. Like I'm exaggerating here, but like how when he turns into Green Goblin, all of a sudden his face is kind of a bit more mutated.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And then at the end, when he's in his straitjacket, he's more normal.
He comes and goes. Yeah.
Like. Yeah,
okay.
I don't know about that specifically. I think they should have just been like, he's either that way or he isn't that way, or is he going to? It's balance of sanity. We'll put it that way. Yeah, sometimes in control, sometimes not. I don't know. Who knows where they actually were going with it?
Yeah.
I
don't think.
Yeah. Your movie also. Maybe if not for Dr. Kafka, right?
Yeah.
Because he said, the true villain of your story is Dr. Kafka, right? Even though he doesn't get any glory, doesn't get people pointed out to him, the silent hero of the movie because he made everything happen, right? He made Max work late, then Max fell into the tank of the eels, then he tortured Max, tested Max, and then Max needed to get rescued by Harry Osborn, who then becomes Max's number one friend because Max's obsessive personality like that. All because of, Dr. Kafka, he's number one, man. He's the number one guy.
Also, Alistair Smythe, he was in this film.
What was he?
Yeah.
What did he do?
He was the first person. There's a bit where Electro, he goes to work and he's late. Well, he's not late, but he's got to do something, and then some guy comes to talk to him, and then he has that little imagination where he starts strangling the guy or something like that, and then he goes, that's Alistair Smythe. Played by BJ.
What Spider Slayers, man? Your movie had better side villains than the actual villain.
Yeah, like I said, Easter eggs and stuff, like setups for things that could possibly happen, which never happened.
Yeah, as much as I'm being disingenuous about some other things, I will say, right, in all seriousness, right, if Alistair Smythe was creating Spider Slayers in this movie and they were kind of the main thing, and that would be attached to a Rhino suit as well, by the way, because you're making the mechanics, and maybe a Scorpion suit somewhere. Would that have been a better overall movie because you would have had henchmen being henchmen?
I don't know, I think that might have been too much.
Yeah, well, then it would have related to the Goblin suit.
No, because they kind of
the Goblin tech suit that Harry Osborn would have taken at the end, I think they could have tied a lot of things together.
Yeah, but I think...
It would have explained the Dr. Octopus arms in the tank as well.
Yeah, that doesn't... Yeah, I don't know. I feel like there's probably it was a draft for this where it did have lots of things that connected into each other and stuff like that, but then it became too grandiose. And then... Yeah,
I will say I don't think Alistair Smythe is the greatest Spider-Man villain or whatever, right? But I'm just like, you know what? There were bits here and there they could have done something with. If they went in that direction, if they decided to, and it would have been a bit more, not left field. We've been like, oh, these. Like how Ra's al Ghul is being used in Batman Begins. Yeah. It's like, whoa, it's a bit random, but yeah.
But I think, because the game is kind of canon and not canon, if I'm honest. Amazing Spider-Man 2. Yeah. Alistair Smythe, if I remember correctly, he's in that with the Spider Slayers. If I remember correctly. Because it's meant to happen... I think it's meant to be connected after Spider-Man 2, the game. Because I know one of the plots is you got to break... Wait, is that number one? One of them you got to break out the lizard No, you help the lizard and he helped. It's weird.
Okay.
Yeah, I it's not a great game. There's no voice actors from the film in it either, so that's random.
Yeah.
But yeah. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
I don't remember.
Let's. They're likable bits in Spider-Man 2, right? Amazing Spider-Man 2. I just think there's problem. It's like a story stitched together from different things that kind of were unrelated to each other.
Yeah.
Whereas you watch Spider-Man 2, and you're like, yeah, all the choices the characters make, the majority of them, do make sense. Why someone does something, how, what direction it goes in. Yeah, okay, all right. Peter's like, all right, I'm having this little mental mini breakdown thing. I don't know, my powers are going away. So then, yeah, all right, as much as we say to him, oh, Dr. Octopus at large, and then he's decided not to do anything. He can't. When he can't, his powers are going away,
Yeah, but still, it's like...
People endanger themselves and kill themselves, so...
Yeah.
But, and then I don't know if you... How far back you've read Spider-Man, but I think the Doc Octopus and Peter Parker's first encounter, Dr. Octopus beat Peter Parker up and unmasked him. And then because he had a cold, I don't know, he was he had some sort of issue.
Yeah.
And then when he unmasked him, he was like, oh, that Peter Parker, because Betty Brant was kidnapped, I think, and Peter was sweet on Betty Brant, so they were like, oh, Peter must have pretended to be Spider-Man to rescue me. Hence, he kept his identity.
Okay.
A secret. Yeah. So, yeah, comics accurate. Even though Betty Brant didn't even get to do much at all in the Spider-Man, the original Spider-Man trilogy.
No, she's just sort of just there. Like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Great.
J. Jonah Jameson was very good in Spider-Man, right?
Yeah.
And if you're gonna say it's unfair to compare a character who does exist to a character who does not exist in your film, all right, I can let that.
But they mentioned him, so I'll let that slide. They mentioned him in Amazing Spider-Man 2, so I can't.
Yeah, I mean, look, he gave kind of like the vibes of what you expect Jameson to be like through email. However, they did such a good job with what's his name?
J.K. Simmons.
J.K. Simmons. Yeah. That they just couldn't. They didn't even bring him back.
Yeah, with hair. Yeah.
yeah.
So they get slightly different. Yeah. Okay. Well. One thing I'll give to you as well, like.
Yeah.
Maybe, like, if you include the games, I would say you have the better game. Because, like, I'm Spider-Man 2 for, like, the PlayStation 2 and Xbox, and I ain't played it yet. I ain't played it in a while. That was a lot better than the Amazing Spider-Man 2 game. I remember playing that, it would have been 10 years ago. I was like, oh, okay, this is a game, I guess? But I'll have to play it again at some point, as I'm kind of enjoying.
Well, I mean, we won't count our continuity things, because it's a bit unfair, because we're not even counting the movies either side of the ones that we've got. So as far as using those for arguments, it's kind of like a bit All I can say is like your boy Spider-Man, right?
Yeah.
Your boy Spider-Man, who Harry Osborn said to me, but look, I know I'm dying, right? I know I'm dying. Just give me some blood, please. Yeah. He's like, no. Why? You could have solved a lot of problems. Your woman would still be alive if you just gave the guy the blood.
Yeah, but your Spider-Man, he's just terrible in general. Like,
wait, no, he did not steal another man's woman. She came to him.
Yeah, no, but he strung her along all that time. That's terrible. And then he could have easily, as well, the Harry part, he could have said, okay, I'm Spider-Man. By the way, I have proof that I didn't kill your dad. And then show him the proof that, oh, okay, cool, not, I can't tell how.
But no, but I don't think he knew. He didn't know that the Green Goblin room was in the building, did he?
No, but he could have said, like, your dad was Green Goblin. Like, I could show you it because I have the suit where he murdered himself in it.
Batman keeps a cave with all these trophies, right?
No, he could have been showing him like, because I had to get dispose of the suit because, I didn't want him to be framed, but here is,
I think it would have been creepy, by the way, if he had actually kept the suit. Yeah. Right? Just so for years later to go to Harry, by the way, I have the suit.
Died in. Yeah.
Yeah.
That would have been
all right. Yes, but like we said, the power of the night. I mean, look. We know that Lois Lane can't tell that Clark Kent and Superman are the same person because of the power of pure tunnel vision denial.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, and Harry has a much more worse version of that. In fact, instead of being like, you know what, my dad died, and I know he's Green Goblin now because I threw the knife through the thing. Yeah. Instead of going, you know what, this ain't for me. He's like, now I'm going full steam ahead into it. Like, all right, what kind of nutcase is that? You know?
Yeah.
In fact, I idolized the guy, my dad, so much. I want to become like him. Not only do I become like him, I want to kill Spider-Man like he wanted to. Everything Harry does is to imitate his dad because even though Harry's not even a scientist, and he managed to make everything work.
Just about.
He's a teenager who ran a company.
Yeah, I give that. But he's still not, I can't say anything good about Harry Osborn from.
Neither of them, you mean?
Yeah.
I'll look. The good thing I could say about your Harry Osborn is that he tried to warn Spider-Man, even though he was in the deleted scene. So I don't know why. He tried to warn Peter Parker.
Yeah.
And that was even though that don't. But because it's in a deleted scene, we're not saying that it doesn't count. It doesn't count.
No.
I will say he did also try to have a decent fight with Spider-Man at the end, but he was completely overpowered because. Hey, look, man. When you got the power, when you got rage fueling you, you can do all sorts of crazy, nutty stuff. Nah, you can't, mate. You got put in your place.
Yeah.
In fact, he should have just went out to just cry. His best goal, right? His best planned goal was just go in there and kill Gwen, and that'll be that, right? Yeah. And then fly away because
pettiness.
You threw a couple of punches at the guy, and the guy made a mockery of you.
Yeah.
You can't handle him. Just do what you need to do. Get out of there.
Pettiness.
You're gonna do that. Just drop a bomb, and run. You got him in the clock tower. Where are they gonna jump to?
What? That was another question. In the Spider-Man, the Raimi Spider-Man films.
Yeah.
Did they ever refer to Green Goblin as Green Goblin or Goblin?
Which one? Harry Osborn. Norman was referred to as Green Goblin.
Okay, I couldn't remember who it was.
And then
Harry was known as New Goblin.
In the as far as outside of the movie is, because they never called him I don't think they called him the New Goblin. Called him Goblin Junior one time, but that was a mocking name.
Yeah,
and I think they called him the Night Surfer at one point. It was like, what? Okay, sure. He didn't make a goblin suit. He definitely did not make a goblin suit. I'll put it that way.
No. I just can't remember.
He actually, his suit was more, you know what? It was quite dapper, actually. He was, going around in trousers.
Yeah. All right? He's basically dressed as a snowboarder. That's how I kind of saw it. Which is weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you're right.
I will say, they So, okay, all right. So, outside of defending the film...
Yes.
Do you think it deserves the reputation it got, like Amazing Spider-Man 2? And then we'll go to Spider-Man 2 afterwards.
I don't know. It's that... I think the legacy this, Amazing Spider-Man 2 will always have is, what could have been afterwards.
I think people are too hard on it sometimes. What it tried to do.
Yeah.
Into the film is fine. I'll put it on the side while I'm doing something else. And then I'll watch it for the action scenes and stuff like that. Right. Yeah. But Spider-Man 2, I will sit down and pay attention to.
See, I'm the opposite. Because I think that's because I watched it so much when I was younger. I just
You know it back up to front.
Yeah.
So is your do you think Amazing Spider-Man 2 is better only because of your overexposure to Spider-Man 2?
Maybe that might be what it is. To be honest, it might be that.
Oh, see, Striker's testimony from the record. I've got him to admit why.
I still personally. I just like the inner workings of Spider-Man. Like I don't know, like visually and stuff. Just, to me, just Amazing Spider-Man 2 just.
It does. I have to say, it does look good. I do like how it's more light of a visual film than the first one, because the first one decided to be like, oh, we're gonna be Terry McGinnis, but not Terry McGinnis. Because
reasons,
like it's Batman Beyond, but not.
Yeah,
I say I mean jokingly because Terry McGinnis is more like Spider-Man than Batman, right?
Yeah.
But with how visually in the nighttime that Amazing Spider-Man was taking place,
and it had all of like weird high building sort of things which ain't real. Yeah, I get what you mean. Yeah, aesthetic.
Yeah, Spider-Man 2 is a lot lighter looking film.
Yeah,
and I think it suits the tone of the film suits the tone of itself and the tone of where you expect Spider-Man to be as well. So there's that.
I would totally agree with that. Totally agree with that.
But I just think there's a lot of things in Spider-Man 2 which they just needed to pick a lane. They need to go that way or that way.
Yeah.
They're like, no, we'll go everywhere, because that ways, when we do our other films, we got path we can choose. You've got too many paths now. So you got your Sinister Six film that you was trying to do right? Your Black and Silver, which is Black Cat and Silver Sable film, is like but you didn't even set up any of those characters. So So and then well then you're gonna make a Spider-Man 3, Amazing Spider-Man 3 with what's
Unless was Spider-Man 3 meant to be a Sinister?
Well, it depends if they were going to do a Sinister Six film like they were the Suicide Squad, right?
Yeah.
Because then you can have a bunch of villains go and fighting another bunch of villains, right?
Yeah.
So it depends on which set of villains you're using and what else you can use in the Spider-Man. So, for example, let's just pretend Venom does not happen yet, right?
Yeah.
If the Sinister Six were fighting Carnage, something like that, right? Someone who's worse than they are, then you're like, all right, well, Carnage and his. If they did maximum Carnage with the Carnage gang, and then Sinister Six on the other side, all right, okay, bit too wild, right? But hey, if you're gonna brawl, okay, all right. I mean, they are distinct from each other, So. And that'd be quite a film, because then you'd have about how many different characters do you have in that film?
Yeah.
Which you kind of have to, some of them are just, you don't need to build, but some of them do actually do stuff. So, If you were to show some random person a Spider-Man movie, I we'll just use it from these two, right? If you were to show a random person a Spider-Man movie, you you're the better of these two movies. You would say I'll show them Amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah, just the opening scene minus the dad part. Yeah.
Okay, so you're saying of a 2.5 hour movie or whatever, you're just like, no, just watch these 7 minutes in the middle.
No, I'll show him that bit, and then hopefully I'll get him interested to see more of it. Because
okay. All right, I get what you're saying, because where it starts kind of in the middle of nowhere with nothing attached to the main film. Yeah. Okay. So fair enough. Fair enough. Well, and it doesn't even come back around later on, anyways, because his dad doesn't come back in it. So he could have just had it from there.
Should have just not had that. It could have been like a 2-second flashback. But
What
would you show from Spider-Man if you had to show anyone?
Well, I showed him the entire film actually. Because bits go from one part to another part, and it's not like you can snip sections out and be like, unless I was just going to show them the bit point where Dr. Octopus throws the car through the window, which could have killed Peter Parker, but whatever, right? Yeah. All the way to the bit where Harry unmasks him. But that's quite a chunk of the film as well.
That's a weird. It's really like saying that. Yeah, that plan was dumb. I'm gonna throw a car through a window.
Hey, look! This man was wearing sunglasses. Yeah, he's got clearly visual issues. Yeah. He doesn't know the strength of his arms, anyways, right? I mean, they only grafted him not too long ago. he grabbed the car. He didn't know the weight of the car. He didn't know the physics of it. It's not like Hulk with Bruce Banner in his mind working out exactly where he had to go to and whatnot. You know.
He was looking to murder that day. Like, if there was there's no getting around that. He was looking to murder someone that day. Because no matter how insane and stuff you are, like, you know, you're throwing a car through a window, someone's dying.
Well, when you're insane, it doesn't matter, right?
No, I'm saying, like, you know, there's no get out clause for this for him. He knew what he was doing.
Well, let's put it this way, right? The distance way through the car from the wherever he was, but you never saw him behind Peter Parker, right? Because you can see through the window behind him.
Yeah.
So he had to make a statement, and he threw it, and he gauged incorrectly.
Nah, he was looking to murder. He didn't care. He didn't care because he thought that trinanium, that whatever thing he was making at the end.
Oh no! Hold on. Let me backtrack just a second here. And he wasn't looking to murder. He couldn't have been looking to murder because he knew that Peter Parker knew how to get to Spider-Man because they needed to capture Spider-Man to give him to Harry.
But
so
still, he knew Spider-Man. He knew Peter Parker was in that place, right?
Yeah.
And he threw a car in there. That's
ridiculous. It wasn't a master plan. It wasn't Octavius in control at that point. It was the arms. Yeah. They were telling him what to do and how hard to throw it, and he was like, "Yeah, I'll go with the flow." Only at the end, remember? Only at the end, he comes back in his right state of mind. So, we will say that he was under the influence.
Still, you know, he straight up murdered. You know, he was looking to murder. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, he threw people out of moving trains, yeah.
Yeah.
But he never killed anyone, did he?
Yeah. Well, because he caught Spider-Man on a good mood, you know, like realistically.
Yeah, but as he knew from his Spider-Man, that his Spider-Man would actually effectively rescue people that are falling, whereas we know your Spider-Man was not able to do such things.
Yeah, well, he had a hard day that day, you know.
No, but I think like Amazing Spider-Man 2, it's fine. It's not amazing. It's not terrible. It's not as terrible as some people say. It's a bit messy here and there, right?
Say it's like one of the worst films that were like really that you're going.
Oh no, definitely not. Yeah, there are enjoyable parts in it. There are parts, like you say, look good and everything like that. Yeah. It's just it's unfocused. Is the best way I can put it.
It is.
The bit that it concentrates on is the most important bit, which is the relationship between Peter and Gwen.
Yeah.
But then everything else kind of like flies in different directions.
It's a chaotic mess, and I love it.
Yeah. Except with one hard through line, everything else is like.
Set up for something that may happen. Yeah.
Or may not happen even sometimes.
Which,
you know. Yeah.
Which didn't, as we could say 10 years later.
Yeah. I want to say out of all the Spider-Man films, though, which like the not including the MCU ones because they actually have some sort of definitive direction, but of these 5, which one would you say is the messiest? Would you say Spider-Man 3? Oh, it's obviously between this one and no. You've got a different. I was gonna say it's between this one and Spider-Man 3, but you're gonna say something. You don't.
No. All right. I don't know, because I want to say Spider-Man 3 is messy. I just think it's just not a great film. It's just
okay. Just not good in general.
Yeah, it's just not good in general.
Okay.
Especially when you hear that Sam Raimi never liked Venom and the studio kind of forced him to put Venom in it. You're like, okay, it tells on the screen. You know what I mean? Like, it tells that.
Yeah.
And so I want to say, but I don't know. I've saved Spider-Man 3. I just say it's the not.
Well, it's funny as well, by the way, how they say that sometimes they overstuff things in the superhero films
Yeah.
or films in general, where you have like all these characters, all this hero, and then you have all these villains. But Spider-Man No Way Home managed to pull it all off.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's not necessarily the amount of villains. Like, it is, but it isn't, right? And it's just how you write them.
It's how you do it.
Yeah, because you got to find a balance of.
You'll find a sweet middle spot.
Yeah. Some characters are just going to be like the Shocker and
but
the Tinkerer, you know.
I'll tell you why I kind of think it works for No Way Home, because like most of the villains and stuff in that, their like origin and stuff and background's already been established, so it's easy to sort of fill them into these roles rather than.
So, all right, in Spider-Man No Way Home, if you were watching it as your first Spider-Man film, which let's just say for some reason you did, you're saying it would be hard to follow?
No, it wouldn't be hard to follow because it's kind of like they kind of already say, "Oh, we're not from this world." Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Like, okay, cool. It's sort of.
Oh, but you mean like stuff is shortcutted?
Yeah.
Villains don't need to be that developed.
No, because they've already been developed from before. So it's like, oh, okay. One throwaway line will kind of like justify them being in the film.
Oh, it's true. It's true. Oh, I will say this as well. Villains manage to get their spotlight as well.
Yeah.
Like, and before they slide into the background a little bit.
Yeah. Rather than like, say for example, Spider-Man 3 or Amazing Spider-Man 2 and Spider-Man 3 spend like a lot of time trying to introduce people who don't really make any difference. Like realistically, like they set up Sandman to be something huge, but what does he really do? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and the only reveal on that is like, oh, he's the guy who accidentally killed Ben Parker.
Yeah, and then at the end, it was like, again, another bad writing decision, in my opinion, where at the end, like, oh, I didn't mean to kill him, and then he told me, blah, blah, blah. I mean, like, he kind of, like, justified, oh, yeah, I went off by accident, and then your Uncle Ben was...
Me to kill him, but he just ran into my bullet.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's like, oh, okay, cool. But, like, another thing that could have been easily said, like, near the beginning of the film, like...
Yeah.
What's his name? Marco Flynn. Is that his name, right? Yeah. Could have kind of went to find the park. Oh, yeah, by the way, I didn't mean to kill your uncle. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, okay, cool. That's kind of give us some closure on what happened rather than everything that goes on from the beginning to the end. Yeah, it's...
I think as well in Spider-Man 3, where Harry dies, is only built up because of the first two films.
Yeah.
If you watch just Spider-Man 3, it's like, he spends part of the film trying to murder him. Then part of the film being the memories of his friend, which then was, when he got his memory back, that was a lie, and then it was, beat him up, team up with him. It was just like, wow, there's a lot happening with the Green Goblin with Harry Osborn at that point. So
that's how I. And then made Spider-Man 2 it was more focused on world building rather than main story. Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Unfortunately.
Look, it was strong for the middle, what it was going for and how it was getting to it, which is Gwen and Peter. We will always say that that's a good thing about it. Yeah. How they went about it, sometimes they were a bit shaky. I would say, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know how many times I've watched it. Not a lot.
Yeah.
And I will not definitely say it's not as good as Spider-Man 2.
Yeah. Okay. That's your opinion. But not like in a bad way. But yeah, no, I get it. It's justifiable. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I can see bits and pieces of Amazing Spider-Man are better than some bits and pieces of Spider-Man 2, but overall, it's
one of those things as well.
Bit of an unwieldy film.
yeah. But overall, they're both done well for the studios that they made them. So
Yeah.
Both
after seeing genuinely, even after seeing Amazing Spider-Man 2, I was like, where are they going to be going with Amazing Spider-Man 3 if they were to do it? Like, where are we going here? What's the
Which, yeah.
I mean, if they not to say that the Lizard is a lame duck villain,
Yeah.
but I do think that he's more of a subplot villain than a main villain.
Yeah.
But same with Electro as well.
Yeah.
Because they just needed someone else to be the lead villains, unless somehow they do something, you know, that brings them to the forefront a bit more. But yeah, they didn't rise above the stations they were put at in the comics.
Yeah.
And therefore, I think they didn't have credibility themselves in the movies.
They were like just villains are sort of like, you're here and like the subplots are more important than you, sort of thing. Like, sort of a thing going around. The story goes around rather than into. Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, look, it's not. It's not terrible.
No.
Amazing Spider-Man 2. It's just not amazing. So yeah. I mean, that, like, as much as I'm ragging on it here, it's like, it's just, it's fine. It's fine. It's so, it's not terrible. I think it's got a worse reputation than it actually does. Yeah. I think that's partially because it got rebooted 2 years right after it.
Yeah,
you know,
I think that's kind of why it gets a bad rap as well. Because when it came out, I don't remember people like slating it off or anything. You know what I mean?
No.
It wasn't until when the MCU thing, and they were like, "Oh yeah, the film is terrible." Like, but if it's terrible, how come it made $700 million?
By the power of Spider-Man's name, that's what we'll say.
It was obviously, but like, I don't know. It is what it is. Yeah. So okay.
Yeah. I mean, look. I mean, coming into this and coming out of it, my opinions of how I rank these movies haven't changed. Not because I'm stubborn or anything, but it's just because I really ranked at a certain level, and I'm like, you know, it's as much as I think Amazing Spider-Man 2 is better than Amazing Spider-Man and Spider-Man 3 anyways.
Yeah.
Even though you could say Amazing Spider-Man might be the better film or something, I think I'm more interested in watching Spider-Man 2 again than Amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah, I get that.
Then I'll probably put Spider-Man 2 and then Spider-Man 1. No, hold on. Spider-Man 2 is number 1 and then Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And then Amazing Spider-Man 2, Amazing Spider-Man, and Spider-Man 3.
Okay. I think mine would be... Just to, carry on again with this episode. Number one would be Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Okay.
Then Spider-Man 2. Then possibly Amazing Spider-Man, and then Spider-Man 3.
See, do you think Spider-Man 3 deserves the hatred that it's got?
Yes, I know that's one thing I would say that that kind of deserves it because just watching it, you can tell it's like a mess.
It's one of those things like Venom's in it, but for no reason whatsoever because he could have been not. Yeah. And like you say, at least in Amazing Spider-Man, all those people were in it, but there was like Mark Webber's like, I'm gonna do what I can with the film, Whereas Venom, you're not wanted. You stay out of my film.
Stay out of this, and how we've written the story, you could tell that you were just a tag on because we had to put you into this.
Yeah.
For a reason. And the whole Topher Grace as Eddie Brock.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if we were saying, let's expect big buff Eddie Brock from the comics, because Tom Hardy was also not that either. But
they tried. I see what they tried to do with like the Topher Grace one. There's a side tangent. We'll wrap this up.
Yeah.
Like, they tried to okay, we're gonna make him and Peter Parker basically similar.
Yes.
Yeah, but one's a sort of like more does what he can to get to where he needs to be. He'll do anything to get where he is, and the other one's sort of the timid one. You're like, oh, okay, I see what you.
Yeah, a bit like how in the new movies I say the new movies, but because they're actually decently old now. Where Flash Thompson is
a modern day
nerd bullying another nerd.
Yeah, a modern day bully, which is an
intellectual bully, but I don't know. He's making it. Yeah,
that's another thing to get into.
Yeah, I think it makes more sense for me for Flash Thompson to be a physical bully because he can. Peter's got the spider power. So as much as you think you're like the big man, right?
Yeah.
You're actually pathetic. He can destroy you.
Yeah, he can literally just murder you with one punch. Yeah, and it's
So
that
they
whole,
kind of, you know,
him holding him back from doing that is the kind of cool that thing.
Then Flash Thompson's the #1 fan of the Spider-Man fan club. Which they don't use in the comics, but not which they don't use in the movies. But hey, you know, is what it is.
Is what it is.
We will wrap up for this episode.
Of us discussing the Spider-Man 2s.
Well, versus, but not really. I mean,
we're just talking about what we didn't like about both of them. Yeah, you know,
mm-hmm.
no one's right in this situation because it's always about everyone has different opinions, and that's good.
And look, all movie, like each movie has their own strengths and weaknesses as well, and we make fun of it. So
exactly.
Yeah. It's not like it's deadly serious or anything like that. Some people, by the way, are so committed, right? They will never bend their opinion or say, just like, I will just slate your movie and ignore the faults of my movie.
Yeah,
no, we don't play like that.
No, I admit. It's stuff I like, and I can see why other people don't like it. Yeah, I can see that flaw,
but if we find a movie that we both hate, we will go for it.
Yeah.
even as much as people did like Madam Web, we're like, okay, I mean,
it's
make fun of it. It's not
terrible.
I
would say it's probably better than Morbius, but you know, it's. And again, people might actually like Morbius, and good on them. You know,
yeah.
I'm not gonna like say you're stupid and you. Yeah, no. If you like, good on you, man. That's great. Yeah.
Some people might like Batman vs Superman. No, they love that film gets, by the way, from certain members of the cinematic audience.
It's a bit crazy. Their love for it. It's like if you don't like it, like you're worse than Hitler. You're like, wait, what?
Yeah, it's just a film. Jeez,
it's not like a religion.
Not a masterpiece or anything like that.
It's weird that you feel that way about a film. Well, all right,
sure. Would you say, as much as I don't want to say Spider-Man 2's got differing opinions, right? Will you say the largest divide of opinions for superhero film is Batman vs Superman?
Yes, I would say that is because like you get that rare amount of people who's in the middle, like me. I'm in the middle. I don't really care at this point. Yeah. Then you got people who hate it and say it's the worst thing ever created, whatever. Blah blah. Then you got some people say it's the best thing ever made, and if you don't like it, then you have no taste. Like, but I can see both sides of it, but I don't care enough to care about it.
Look, it's far from the West. I see Jonah Hex. You know?
Yeah. There we go. Yeah. Yeah. Jesus Christ, I've got other thing. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like Jonah Hex. You know, that's.
Oh yeah.
I'd even go as much as say that. No, I wouldn't say Batman and Robin is worse, but yeah, you got Jonah Hex.
No, Batman and Robin is entertaining on certain levels. I will, if it's on the side and I want a slice of camp, I'll go and watch it. You know.
But like, there's much worse films than Batman vs Superman. Even. Yeah, I was about to say even Justice League, but I mean, like, it's not. I don't know. I don't know. The Spirit, another one. I mean, there's people like that.
Oh, look, the Spirit visually looks good. It just doesn't make a lot of
any sense. Any sense. But yeah.
All right. Yeah. Okay. That will conclude our talk for this episode of Trip Around the Multiverse. I'm the. Go on. Sorry, I thought you were going. I'm the man obsessed with Spider-Man's blood, Sima Chung.
And I'm the man who accidentally leaked emails about Sony, which resulted in many of our films getting cancelled and almost getting destroyed by North Korea. Carl Charles, that's a thing. Oh. And a film nearly caused World War III. That's hilarious. Yes, and thank you for listening to us discuss these two amazing movies. See what I did there? Pun. Ha 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 ha. don't forget to like us, follow us on Instagram and Twitter, where I tweet and drop pictures and stuff very regularly. And the links that you can find it up there on the top. And if you're watching this on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe. You know, that said that twice. Like, share, and subscribe. Also, have any ideas for videos, let me know. Carry on watching my Spider-Man series on Kyle Plays Spider-Man, the movie game. I'm up to. I just beat
the movie, the game, because
that's
just like Street Fighter, right?
Yeah, the Street Fighter, the movie, the game. But yeah, and I just I'm up to my first encounter with a Green Goblin, which is meh. And yeah, so that's there. Watch that, it's fun. And yeah, like, share, subscribe, all that lovely stuff. And until next time, guys, I'd like to thank you for taking a trip with us around Multiverse. Bye.
Bye.